micro frontends are the booming one. So before we moving into the micro frontend, I hope you guys are somewhat here about frontends. So frontend is nothing but it's just UI. So in UI we have a multiple blocks or elements like forms, sliders, sections, titles, buttons like this. So these are the front-end UI elements. So I just take it this session through microfrontends.org. These guys are creating the micro frontend idea. So these peoples are from ThoughtWorks Technology Radar. So let's see what is ThoughtWorks Technology doing for micro frontends. So this technology radar is doing these peoples are trying to create a micro frontends from 2016. Still they are supporting in the micro frontend development. So the main thing is the microservice architecture. So what is the microservice architecture is? So let's see an example of this. In the very beginning, all the applications are monolith, which means everything in the one place. If you are creating front end or back end, that is in the last decade only. Before that, everybody creating an application, front end and back end are both in the single place and work together in a single place. After the people trying to differentiate that we need to create a separate team to build the application, front end separately and back end separately. So those peoples are trying to create a separate team. So at that time only the front end and back end team is born. After some point, back end is having huge amount of data processing and operating, manipulation. So these kind of things are too much of complication, especially in the backend side. So they are trying to create a new evolution in the backend side. So only they are creating microservices, which means they have multiple services. All the services will support the front end. So front end can get the input from all the services, which means they are breaking a big problem into small things and all the small solutions working independently. That independent service will provide the expecting data from the database. So that is called microservices. So from here, this technology radar think about the same architecture we need to implement in the front end. So that's in that place they are creating an approach called BFF, that is backend for front end. So the backend is trying to create optimal solution from the different places in the single front end application. So same thing, they are trying to break a single monolith front end into a multiple pods. So it will creating. So end-to-end team with micro frontends, which means they are creating whatever the backend services split in multiple pods. The same thing, the front end will split into the multiple pods, which means, for example, we have a e-commerce application. In the e-commerce application, we have a list of products, we have a cart page, we have a header, we have a checkout page, we have a tracking. So we have a lot of small applications. So in the micro frontend is created, this everything is separately and independently. If any one of this application is broken or crash, it won't affect the entire application. So that is the main important feature of micro frontends. But in the monolith application, if break or crash at any one of the place, it automatically down our entire application, especially in the front end. So that improvement will create a huge impact in the market. So let's see one example. So here is one model. So it's similar like a e-commerce application. So in the e-commerce application is created with combination of all the front-end frameworks which are top in the market as of now. So it is created by Angular, React.js and Vue.js. So the base application is created by the Angular, and in the Angular they are having a product is tractor and having a different kind of color sets and having the cart, how many products is selecting, and they having the buy button, and they showing the related products. The related products is covered in the green dots, that is it developed by Vue.js, and this basket and buy button is these two elements is created by React.js and rest of others created by the Angular. So why I am telling this example is perfectly suitable for the micro frontend is micro frontend is architecture and it's a technique. It's not completely depends upon the programs or frameworks. We can use whatever in this architecture. If you want, you can use directly HTML into this, or if you want Angular, if you want to combine multiple Angular projects, you can do this. If you want multiple React.js application, you can do. It's the same thing in Vue.js. So my micro frontend is you can create a small parts as per your requirement. So here why they are using this basket in React.js and buy is React.js. They have some specific reason for this, because it will automatically update whenever you clicking this buy button. It not refresh, it automatically append that state method in the state. So that's what they may choose the React.js. It may be a reason for that. It could be, and the related products it's automatically taken from the user recent search, whatever the logic. So they are using that logic into the Vue.js. So let's take it from here. So that's what this technology micro frontend is evolved from the 2006, but in the market it came after the 2012. So after the 2012, all the technology companies will trying to use the micro frontends. Yes, absolutely, micro frontends have some problems, some constraints, which means if you are trying to update any one of the repository or any one of the small application, then you need to maintain it, the source code is separately. So obviously the overall the package size is much bigger than the monolith application, but we can manage that application independently. So that is the main thing. Also our teammates can work independent. It may in your company have lot of it may your company have a lot of teams and all the peoples are working in the front end, then they can easily segregate the peoples for the separate small applications. Then finally they are together into a single application using the micro frontend technique. It will increase your speed and stability of your application. Thanks again, guys. Thank you for joining with us. Start investing.